or IBC. Honorable Speaker, why I mentioned some of these topical issues is that when we go back to our communities, we are only left with functions like funerals, or you happen to meet people on ad hoc arrangements. Honorable Speaker, some of us, like me, I'm a nominated senator. We may not have the capacity to run full-time physical offices where you'd meet your people if you go to the ground. So it follows that wherever we meet them, whether it is in your home or whether it is in a funeral, that is when, as a leader, you have an opportunity to address your people and talk to them about these pertinent issues like femicide. Honorable Speaker, if we had this bill, the county governments would have an opportunity, as enshrined in the structures that are here, in giving our people, in educating our young women that continue to lose their life in what we call as femicide. Honorable Speaker, I'm left wondering why in this community every day when we wake up and killed, we have a 12-year-old girl has been killed. Just the other day, Honorable Speaker, I mentioned a very young girl that I taught in school, Honorable Speaker, in my life teaching station. A young girl called Mercy in Dewa Town was murdered in the middle of the night. And we've had those stories every day. Some of them published even in the dailies. Honorable Speaker, this will be an opportunity to take our people through cautionary measures. The county government, the officials, even the national government officials will have an opportunity and structures in which they can progressively take our young girls into certain ways in which they can protect themselves, certain ways in which they are able to smell there's danger around them. And Honorable Speakers have said education is an ongoing exercise. Honorable Speaker, you remember when we had the NADCO discussions, and I want to really congratulate our two leaders, the president of this country, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and the enigma, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who took an opportunity to just say, let us forget about the chaos and let's sit together. And they put up a team of leaders from the Senate and the National Assembly that brought about the NADCO report. But Honorable Speaker, as we talk about the NADCO report, are we sure the general population that we have in this country are aware of the details, the nitty-gritties that we discussed in the NADCO report? So in this bill, we would be having a way of letting our people know some of those topical issues that we discuss as leaders that affect their lives. Honorable Speaker, in most of the conversations I have with my community and with the public, there are always issues coming up about IBC. When are commissioners coming in? When are we getting our boundaries reviewed? When are we getting the preparation of even the next election, Honorable Speaker? I'm saying because these are topical issues that always come up. I support this bill because through this bill, some of these topical issues would be related to our people. Honorable Speaker, I'm also happy that this bill mentions that public officials, be they national and county, at county level, will undergo a mandatory civic and training on their roles and responsibilities. Honorable Speaker, a number of people get to positions, some of them even elected, some of them appointed, some of them nominated like some of us. But sometimes it is pathetic that you see that the way some of us undertake their roles, it is like they are never very sure of the responsibilities for which they are in those offices. Honorable Speaker, it is even a pity that when you go back to our counties, there are even leaders who are being sought by their electorates. They never see the leaders that represent them. We do not know whether they go back to their communities or their homes at night, and during the day they are not available because their people are always looking for them. Honorable Speaker, if I refer to the elected leaders are representatives of the people. And they must go back to their electorates. They must go back to their people. And their people who elect leaders must be told through civic education about the roles they are bestowing on some of the officers they are electing to offices. So whether they're appointed or they're elected, Honorable Speaker, they must be. I'm happy they'll be undergoing a mandatory civic education and training so that they are enlightened more and some of their responsibilities. And the people, our people must also know some of the mandates the leaders have so that when they're not able to perform those mandates well, then the voters or our people should be able to know what they will do with them in future. Honorable Speaker, another point why I support this vibrant bill is that it talks about the registration of county education providers. And Honorable Speaker, it goes ahead to mention that some of the county civic education providers are not limited to NGOs, non-governmental NGOs, organizations. Some of them are non-state actors. Honorable Speaker, why do you say it is important to have a registration of these civic education providers? It is the right, our right to know who is providing which activity where. Sometimes back, Honorable Speaker, when I happened to have been incorporated as a woman leader in a structure of government that was overseeing development in my region, Honorable Speaker, we came up with an idea that in Homa Bay district then, we needed to know who is coming in and what are you coming to do. But it was a pity, Honorable Speaker, that most of these NGOs and non-state actors did not even want the government to know what they are doing and where they are doing it. Honorable Speaker, if I go ahead to give an example of my district then, you have often been informed that in Homa Bay, our prevalence level in HIV or early pregnancy of gender-based violence is so high, Honorable Speaker. But Honorable Speaker, it is a pity that because of these statistics, we end up attracting so many NGOs and non-state actors that come with a lot of funding to address these issues. But what is a pity, Honorable Speaker, is we remain with the same statistic despite the fact that we have so many NGOs and so many non-state actors that are addressing this issue. So the question that worries some of us as leaders is that what are they doing? Is it adding value? Is it just about using the statistic to seek for funds elsewhere? Is it just about after you get funds as an NGO, then you come to the region and that you masquerade as if you're doing some activities, but it doesn't translate to any value for our people? Honorable Speaker, we have often been worried about some NGOs where they get funding, but a number of this funding goes to administrative issues. And that is why I applaud this bill, because it's going to let us have an inventory of who you are, what activities you are doing, where you are doing it, and I would like us to go further. We must have targets for these NGOs and non-state actors wherever they come. Honorable Speaker, the bill also goes ahead to talk about that there will be a registry of providers that will be kept. That reflects on what I'm saying, that we need to know who you are, and go even ahead to talk about the amount which you have and how much are you going to spend on that activity. Honorable Okenyuri, it will not only be enough that we'll be having NGOs and non-state actors coming to our regions to provide for civic education, but we must also have their budgets. Those must be the public know-how, so that we are able to decide whether they are giving us value for money. Honorable Speaker, the bill will even help us support our people into knowing what are the devolved functions that they are entitled to. What are the services that they are entitled to? Honorable Speaker, we've had this fear that functions sometimes were devolved from the national government, but they were re-centralized again at the county headquarters. We would like our people to know that it is their right to get those devolved functions, that those functions were devolved from the national government, and they should further be devolved to the sub-counties and to the wards, so that our people access services and not run back for services back to the county headquarters. And this bill is going to support that. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, why I support this bill is that this bill even refers to the Bill of Rights. The rights to association, the rights to assemble, the rights to demonstrate, the right for labor relations. Honorable Speaker, this is a very noble bill, and all of us should support it, and the whole country should support it. It will have saved us a lot from the lack of knowledge of the rights of our people who cry or suffer because they lack knowledge of certain things that they are entitled to. The constitution that we have talks about all these rights. Honorable Speaker, we are here as representatives of the people. And so we must ensure that our people have knowledge. I therefore support this bill, and I want to call upon all my colleagues in the Senate to support this bill, so that our people have a right to education, which I've stated is an ongoing activity and never stops, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when devolution was coming in 2010, after voting, there was a lapse of a period in which the national government had a duty even to give civic education on devolution. But Honorable Speaker, you and me know, and all of us know, that this never happened effectively and efficiently, and it is for that reason that our people are still suffering for lack of knowledge. Honorable Speaker, I support the County Civic Education Bill 2024 as moved by Senator Esther Okenyuri.
Senator Beatrice, thank you for your contribution to this bill. And honorable senators, there being no other member who is wishing to contribute, I call upon Senator Esther Okenyuri, the mover of this bill, to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity again. At this point, I first want to start by appreciating Senator Boni Halwale, the Kakamega Senator, who seconded my bill. And I also want to appreciate Senator Faki, the Mombasa Senator. I heard you well and clear, and you quite understand what we are talking about when I actually passionately speak about why we need to have informed citizens. Senator Mariam, my neighbor right here, Senator Murgo, the West Pokot Senator, Senator Cherargei, who has passionately spoken about my attributes. I'm very honored by those kind words, the Nandi Senator, much appreciations. Senator Beatrice Ogola, my colleague, and one who's always very supportive anytime we have such proposals in the House. I'm so grateful that you had to sit to this time to support the Civic Education Bill, and that shows your commitment to having people who understand their responsibilities and how they need to take account the kind of leaders they elect to office. I equally I thought Senator Mungatana would have time to comment on this, but I think he ran short of that. But I wish to appreciate all colleagues, because when I first brought this proposal, I brought it as a statement. Most members gave ideas that we need you to come up with a legal proposal. And I went back, and this is what we have, and we keep furnishing it so that we have a product which is going to make sense to we elected members, to members of the public. But at the end of the day, we agree that we need members or citizens who are informed, so that no one is going to take advantage of an ordinary member down in Nyamakima or Nyamarambe or Kenyenya or Mombasa or Kisauni. These people need to be informed before they make any decisions. Mr. Speaker, currently what we have, sometimes public participation happens, but you're calling people to participate on a subject they do not understand. And that's why when something is brought to a particular area, people think it's actually a favor, whereas they deserve that particular service or that particular good. So, Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't want to actually speak more than my colleagues have mentioned, and I've spoken about this from times back, and I keep emphasizing on this. Even this evening, I want to make a plea to the media fraternity. These are some of the proposals we need to highlight in the media, because they are shaping conversations positively. Right now in this century, young people are sharing their opinions on social media, either by retweeting on X, by sharing on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on TikTok. That's where conversations are currently happening. So to the media fraternity, I want to request that you highlight this is a very progressive proposal, which is equally going to help you curb misinformation and also pass positive information that is building people in one way or another. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to request that pursuant to Standing Order 66.3, I want to request that the putting of the question be deferred to another day so that that can be carried on. So thank you, Mr. Speaker. I end at that point.
Pursuant to Standing Order 63, putting of the question is deferred to the next sitting of the House. Honorable Senators, having directed that we defer the putting of the question on the order number 12, that is the County Civic Education Bill, Senate Bills number 4 of 2024, I further direct that order number 13, order number 14, order number 15, number 16, 17, 18, and 19 are deferred to the next sitting of this House. And now, honorable members, we may rise. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 18th of February, 2025 at 2:30 p.m.